Were you in a relationship with a narcissist or a toxic person and it seemed like they were trying to make your life hell? Maybe it seemed like they were trying to make you have the worst life ever and you're just like, wow, like I don't understand what's going on. It's like you say you love me, you say you care, but then you're acting like you want me to leave. Well, just so you know, a lot of times when they're doing that, the narcissist does want you to leave. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness, growth, healing, and change. We do it on all the different platforms out there. So if you don't follow already, look us up on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, all under Raw Motivations. Check us out. We go live different times on different platforms. So we'd love to interact with you. Love to be able to help you join a community that's about growth, healing, and change. If you want to take that healing to a whole nother level, then check out the NARC app. Go to narcapp.com. It stands for Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Community. Community of people with courses, with challenges, with places to be able to get encouragement and advice as you continue moving forward on your healing journey to find that state of being happy, being healthy, having that intentionality of how you're going to show up on a day-to-day basis. We check in with people on a weekly basis with weekly lives where we bring people on screen, where you have group coaching inside those, and we have specified like monthly coaching where we bring people in from the outside, different psychologists, survivors, coaches to help you in your healing and your growth process. So check that out at narcapp.com. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can go to rawmotivations.com, click on one-on-ones. We can set up a time to be able to chat and to help you work on your healing and to move forward with the story that's in your head, to be able to change that and make sure it's grounded in truth. So when we're talking about narcissists and leaving, a lot of times people are like, well, narcissists, they leave all the time. And you'd be 100% correct with that. There's a lot of narcissists out there that do leave. You get pregnant, poof, they're gone. You cheat, poof, they're gone. You do X, Y, and Z, poof, they're gone. Like it happens a lot. A lot of times a narcissist will, whenever it gets uncomfortable, whenever they get to be held accountable, whenever something's happening that they don't like, they'll go find somebody else. They'll leave you in the dust. They'll do whatever they want because it's all about them. It's not about you. It's not about anyone else. So a lot of times you'll see the narcissist that will leave a lot of the time. They'll leave, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll lie, whatever. Like they'll leave, okay? Others don't leave. So if you're not one of the people that like, they left, like this is who I'm talking to, okay? Other people don't leave. There's other narcissists that make your life hell so that you leave. And you're kind of like, how does this even make sense? Like, why would they even do that? Well, part of it goes back to a video that I've done before about the narcissist enjoys chaos and how it actually works. Narcissist creates, sustains, and thrives in chaos. That's a place where they're actually comfortable. They're the eye of the storm, the eye of the tornado, and the tornado rips through your life and other people's lives, destroying everything in its path, while the person in the middle is content and comfortable because they're the ones causing it. They're the ones in control. And a lot of times people don't realize that as that's happening, there's a hope and there's a thought in the back of the narcissist's mind of like, I hope they leave, then I can get what I want. You see, you have to understand what the narcissist cares about. Typically, it boils down to money and image. That's it. I care about the money that I get, and I care about how I look to others. That is the thought process of the narcissist. Too many people like just need to hear just that to understand and change their whole perspective of what's going on in the relationship, because they think that it's about them, and they think it's about the kids. They think it's personal. They think it's a lot of other things. But typically, when you boil it down, it's money and image. That's it. When we talk about the aspect of money and talk about the narcissist is looking at like, wait a second, like I need to figure out what is actually going to make sense. Like I'd rather just stay in this relationship because I might have to pay for things. I might have to pay for child support. I might have to pay for X, Y, and Z. So like, okay, like if you want this, that not happen, if you want to break up with me, if you want a divorce, then you go get the lawyer. Or maybe we can use the same attorney. We can just split it. Or how better yet, let's save money by not going to court, and let's just go through mediation, because that always works, right? Typically it doesn't with a narcissist, because they use that as more manipulation to drag out the effects so that they don't have to work, they don't have to pay more money, they don't have to work on their image, they can just stay in that relationship and make people think that everything's okay. Now when we talk about money, a lot of times the narcissist in that breakup and that divorce and things like that, you're going to see an aspect that they're not going to pay their child support. Some people get annoyed when I say that, but a lot of times it's true. And I've spoken to a lot of people that get zero child support, even though it's court ordered, even though that it's put in writing, even though they decided on it in mediation or they promised, but they don't actually pay it. And typically that's because a narcissist views kids as being a liability and a waste of time and money. Sometimes they'll go to extremes of let me spend money to not pay. Let me buy a bunch of things. Let me buy a house. Let me buy a bunch of furniture. Let me buy a bunch of things so that I don't have money to actually pay you. So I can go to court and say like, hey, I don't have money to pay them. We've even seen like the narcissists like quit their job. Like, I'm jobless. I don't have any money. I can't give them money. Sometimes even run from the state, from the country. A lot of times the narcissists won't want to leave in that aspect because they don't want to spend the money. The other aspect that a lot of times they care more about than anything else is the image. What will people think? What will people think of how I look, of how I act, of how I interact with my family or my kids, or how I show up to church, how I show up in my job? And they're normally concerned about what other people will think, not the immediate family, not the wife and the kids, not the husband and the kids, but they're normally thinking like, wait, what is my boss going to think? Let me keep that reputation to like my workplace. Let me keep that good reputation to my family or to my community or to my church, like all these things. And a lot of times the narcissist will focus on a good reputation. Sometimes that good reputation is out there for everybody to see, and sometimes it's just in their head. They'll keep telling themselves they're a good person, they'll keep doing whatever. But as a result, when they're relying on that image piece, they'll try to have a good reputation in a lot of different places. They'll hide in the church, they'll hide in the community, they'll hide in different places because they want to have that image that looks better so it doesn't show the shame that's actually inside. You'll see this the same way, and it looks really confusing for a lot of people when they hide a new supply. It's like, why would they hide the new person? Why would they hide the person that they cheated with? Why would they hide the new affair partner? Like, why would they hide that after we've broken up? Why would they hide that? Well, a lot of times it's because of an outward appearance. Like, let me make sure that no one else thinks or realizes that I'm actually doing this. Other times it's for an inward story of like, hey, I'm a good person. I cheated. I went on with this person, but I'm still a good person. Sometimes that image can just be in their head. All right, so we've been talking about different aspects: money, image, them leaving, them not leaving, them creating chaos, all this kind of stuff. But I want you to think of this as narcissists want you to leave. So many times I'm getting like DMs and messages from people being like, how do I get my narcissist out of the house? How do I get this toxic person out? How do I get free from this person? And a lot of times if they're not going to leave, they're never going to leave, but they want you to leave. They won't leave. They won't file, but they want you to do it because they want to be free to do whatever they want to do. And you're constricting them. And a lot of times if they can make your life hell, they can do a reverse discard and you actually leave and they're like, yes, finally. But what happens when you get ready to leave? You get ready to leave and they're going to change at the last second. They're going to attempt to have an epiphany of like, wow, like I actually love you. I actually want this to work. Let's make this happen. And then you walk out of the door and they turn around and they blame you for being the person that left. And then they go out and they smear you to their friends, to their family, to other people, being like, I can't believe she walked out the door. I can't believe he left me at my worst time. And the whole goal with that is to paint a picture so that they're not the bad guy. So that ultimately the other person is at fault. A lot of narcissists hate their marriage, hate their partner, they hate where they are, they hate themselves, they want to get out of it, but they don't have the balls to actually get out of it. They'd rather sit there and make someone else's life hell than they would actually own up and say, hey, I'm unhappy here and we're going to get a divorce. They'd rather make you go through hell than they would actually say, hey, I'm unhappy here and I need to own up to the stuff that I've done and I think we need to get a divorce. Like, they're not going to do that. Again, we talked early on, some do. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking right here to you. That sometimes they'll stay and make your life hell so that they don't have to be the bad guy when you walk away. Sometimes they will change at the last minute and try to feign like something's happening so they can tell other people, I tried. I tried to get them to go to counseling. I tried to get us to work on ourselves. I tried to do this. I begged her to stay. I begged him not to go, but they left. That way they can make sure that it's someone else's fault and they're not to blame. You see, when the other person leaves in the relationship, the narcissist enjoys that because then they don't have to take accountability. They're like, I might have cheated 25 times, but they left me. Therefore, I'm the victim. That's the thought process. So what do you do? Okay? If you're stuck in this and they want you to leave, or they don't want you to leave, and you're like, I don't really know what's going on, what you need to understand is if there's no change, then leave. And when there is change at the last second of the relationship, when you're getting ready to divorce, when you're getting ready for all this stuff to happen, leave. Why would you leave if they're starting to change? Because typically they're not starting to change at the end of the relationship. Leave, walk away, take the relationship off the table, then see how long their change actually happens. If they're actually changing for themselves, then it'll be long-lasting, sustainable change, even if they don't have any hope for seeing you. Sometimes they'll try to hoover to get you to stay. You need to walk away. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist that's more concerned about money and more concerned about image, and they've made your life chaos, but they're not willing to actually take a stand and be like, hey, I've made your life awful, let me apologize and fix it, or I've made your life awful, let's get a divorce, or let's break up, whatever it is. If you're in that type of relationship, it's not going to get better until you make a different choice. Until you make the choice to leave by noticing, wait a second, this person is not honest, they're not vulnerable, and they're not showing any consistent change. If you're seeing that on a day-to-day basis, you need to walk away.